Thanks for having me. Well, the G7 is still relevant. You're still talking about the world's dominant economies. So it's still an important body. The real question for me, more precisely, is what's going to happen specifically later with the meeting between President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the outcome of that particular meeting remains to be seen.
But it doesn't include the world's second largest economy, China.
No, it doesn't. But the fact of the matter is, this meeting is still important because you're talking about the United States, which still has preeminence in world affairs, and a dominant military, which China still cannot match.
You know, Joe Biden has been saying since he's been overseas that America is back. This is a message, of course, we've heard before from the U.S. president. Is that a message that's going to resonate with European allies that felt jilted under Donald Trump?
Well, certainly it seems that European allies are happy with renewed emphasis on American diplomacy. I think that's an important aspect of what's happening. Again, the real question for me is a little bit different. We're now in the post-Trump world, of course, and we're back to more multilateralism that Biden very much wants to emphasize. But the real question for me is a little bit more precise, and that is what's going to happen with Russia and Europe. Biden has recently rolled back sanctions on Nord Stream 2, Russia's main geopolitical project in Europe. And here the United States had a lot of leverage. Unfortunately, this leverage is gone. So that's really the main question.
Okay, and I want to talk about Russia because the U.S. president, will be meeting Russia at the end of his trip to Europe. First, he's going to, of course, have this G7 summit for the next 2 days. Then he's going to have a NATO summit on Monday. Then he's going to meet with European allies on Tuesday and end everything meeting Russia. What do you expect out of that meeting, given that, as you were saying, leverage has been taken away?
Yeah, I think how this meeting is going to go very much remains to be seen. I don't necessarily have high expectations at this stage. There are a lot of unanswered questions. Again, a main issue for me is that the sanctions against Nord Stream 2 have been pushed back. But also, there's a lot of questions on what will Biden say about Russia's human rights record. We're seeing growing repressions in Russia against domestic opposition, free press. Also free speech, Russian information operations. Also Syria and Libya. I'm wondering whether or not these issues will be on the agenda and how specifically they will be discussed. So there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Something that Joe Biden wants to do is restore the global world order with the West at the forefront of it, something that Emmanuel Macron wants as well. But how do you do that, given that now you have a China and a Russia that's more assertive and tend to do what they want to do?
Well, the way it seems that the way the Biden administration is looking at it, it is clearly prioritizing China first over Russia. So it's not an equal relationship. If you look at the official documents, statements coming out of the White House, it's really China more so than Russia. But I think with American leadership, with building leverage rather than taking leverage away, it is possible to push back. Russia is not a dominant world economy. By main matrix of when you look at great power sort of categories, Russia is simply not the power that it was. The real issue is how do you use the leverage you have, and here the United States still has leverage, and so does the West, if it works together.
We'll see what comes out over the next few days. Anna Borcheskar, thank you very much for joining us on the program today.